right from Henderson and Bisping to the welterweight title fight between the champion, George Rush St. Pierre, and the challenger, Thiago Alves.
I'm gonna shock the world.
Big punches by Thiago.
I'm gonna make him regret he stepped in the octagon with me.
I gotta kill somebody, I gotta destroy something.
I fight to become the best welterweight as ever fought in UFC.
Just got one thing in my mind, just destroy him.
Down goes de Souza.
I gotta hurt him in every second of the fight. That's what I think about.
Oh, he eats a big knee coming in.
I'm going to fight a guy who's way bigger than I, but it doesn't matter to me because skill beats size, technique beats strength all the time. Thiago Alves never fought a guy like me. This is not a kickboxing match, this is not a jiu-jitsu match. It's mixed martial art, and I can do it all.
I wanna take his belt away from him, he become the world champion. That's many different ways that I can beat George, but I'm gonna look for the knockout. That's the way that I like to beat people, and that's the way it's gonna happen. I'm gonna knock him out.
I'm gonna have an advantage regarding experience. I've fought in championship fight before.
Trying to submit Hughes.
It's something different than fight in a regular fight.
Big ones there.
At the end of the fight, I'm gonna have my hand raised and still UFC welterweight champion.
I'm gonna kick your ass as soon as you make a mistake. I'm gonna take the best pound-for-pound fighter, and I'm gonna knock him out.
Yeah, turn it up. Okay. I know everybody bouncing, right? Yeah, chicks, this is hot. Sack Town. It's your boy, be smooth, man. Yo. I'm the rap game's best kept, guaranteed the best catch. Ocean full of sharks, flow considered a threat, yes. True indeed, it's the green that got me impressed, but never be, though I dream.
Man, this fight right here is a gigantic fight for the welterweight division. Thiago Alves is without a doubt the most dangerous, most credible challenger at 170 pounds in the world. This is the premier fight for this weight class.
Alves currently riding a 7-fight win streak.
You saw him carrying the American top team flag. That is his gym. Tremendous training camp that he's had down there in Florida with such UFC greats as Gleison Tibau. You see Marcos Aurelius with him, Ricardo Laborio, the trainer. Just an amazing camp down there with so many good fighters. This guy is the cream of the crop over there. He is a devastating Muay Thai specialist. He's got vicious leg kicks, knockout punches and knees. He's very good on the ground as well. He's incredibly strong, and he is huge for 170 pounds. Coming into this weight class right now, coming into the octagon, he's probably going to be very close to 200 pounds.
Alves has become very well known for those leg kicks that you mentioned, Joe. He's landed the third most leg kicks in UFC history, effective with his leg kick 77% of the time. From Fortaleza, Brazil to Coconut Creek, Florida 6 years ago at the tender age of 19. And you mentioned his teammate, Gleison Tibau. One of Thiago Alves' first MMA fights was against Gleison Tibau. And now 22 wins later, he has a chance to become the new welterweight champion. That is a big welterweight.
Gigantic. I mean, I would really like to throw him on a scale right now. And this is the same pacing that he did before he fought Matt Hughes. Just like he's got so much energy pent up, he can't sit still.
Thiago Alves is set to take on the UFC welterweight champion.
for my culture and my people, my freedom. Put your hands in the air, wave them side to side. Put your hands in the air if you feeling alright and say, oh yeah, oh yeah. Say, oh yeah, oh yeah.
George Rush St. Pierre, born and raised in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. On a 5-fight win streak, 3 of those wins over past or present UFC champions.
Arguably the most well-rounded fighter in mixed martial arts, arguably the best fighter in the world in mixed martial arts, pound for pound. He has got the best wrestling in the sport, in my opinion. He's got black belt level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he's got excellent striking.
Joe, he recently earned his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He has trained with Greg Jackson for a long time now, trains out of BTT Canada with Faraz Shizabi, and he's coming off his second title defense in the highly publicized fight against BJ Penn. He won back his title in Montreal against Sarah, beat Fitch, then Penn, but tonight, as you mentioned, may very well be the biggest challenge of his mixed martial arts career.
The Penn fight was a total domination, but you got to think that BJ Penn is a natural 155-pounder and probably shouldn't have been fighting at 170 in the first place, especially against a big 170 and a skilled 170 like George St. Pierre. That said, Thiago's a much bigger guy, the biggest, strongest guy he's probably ever faced in his entire career. He looks very serious and very focused here. He knows the danger that waits him in the octagon tonight.
Only the second Canadian following Carlos Newton in UFC history to hold a UFC championship. Career wins over Sarah, Hughes twice, Penn twice, Sean Scherf, the 2008 Canadian Athlete of the Year, and the UFC welterweight champion of the world, George St. Pierre. Tape for this welterweight title fight, the 28-year-old French-Canadian against the 25-year-old Brazilian. GSP will have a 6-inch reach advantage. Once again, here is the veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2 UFC warriors have now entered the Octagon, but tonight only one will leave the champion, as this is the co-main event of the evening. And now, 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC welterweight championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 22 wins with 4 losses. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, presenting the challenger, Thiago, the Pitbull Alves. And now, introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a wrestler and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter, holding a professional record of 18 wins with 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the reigning, defending UFC welterweight champion of the world, George action begins. Our referee in charge of the Octagon is Steve Mazzagatti.
All right, gentlemen. Come on. This is it, gentlemen. 5 rounds. We will have a clean, fair fight. You need to obey my commands, protect yourself at all times. Now hook them up.
The welterweight title is on the line. The champion, the challenger. Quick inside leg kick by the champion in the red trunks.
Very interested to see what strategy GSP employs. One of the beautiful things about being such a well-rounded fighter is that he's got great skills in all areas. And I'm really interested to see what he does to neutralize the striking of Thiago Alves.
The one thing we do know is GSP has been in the championship rounds before. He's been in the deep waters. Thiago Alves has not.
That's very important.
Thiago Alves thus needs to look to be effective, but yet pace himself in a different way than he's had to before.
And immediately George goes for the takedown, and he gets it. And Thiago's back to his feet again.
And down again.
And this is going to spell trouble for Thiago Alves. If George can do that easily.
St. Pierre, the second most accurate in UFC history with his takedown attempts. In his career, landing 77% of the time.
It's really incredible when you consider the fact that he never competed as a wrestler in high school or college, yet he is arguably the best wrestler in all of mixed martial arts against so many decorated wrestlers.
And he's equally effective passing the guard as he leans on Alves.
Thiago's back to his feet, but George has his back here.
Joe, it's early in the fight, but you can already see, look at the welt on the left leg of GSP.
Yeah, that was one kick. He's got to be careful. Thiago has got to be very careful. George has his back.
So versatile, as you mentioned, is St. Pierre. Perhaps the most versatile fighter in the game today.
You know, he's in big trouble here, Mike. George has got his back. They're not slippery yet. They're not covered in sweat. And Thiago rolls him over. Thiago back to his feet.
And they're broken apart.
Thiago's got to be a little bit shy now. A little wary of those takedowns.
Let's see if he tries to punish that lead leg again. Thiago Alves. Taken down with relative ease by George St. Pierre. Welterweight title.
Good left hook by Thiago.
There's that kick again. He likes to use that inside leg kick and follow up with the hands too, does the Brazilian.
Nice combination.
I love how St. Pierre sets those up. Snapping that quick jab.
Nice inside leg kick by George.
And again, he steps in and extends the length of that jab, and already, Joe, as I mentioned, St. Pierre has a 6-inch reach advantage. And thus you see him staying on the outside.
And he shoots again. This time he stuffs it. Check that kick.
Thiago Alves surviving the early takedown and the passing of the guard by GSP.
Thiago pressing forward. Nice kicks.
And he's taken
George
down.
takes him down again.
And that over time is going to make Thiago Alves perhaps show a little bit more hesitant to throw those kicks.
Thiago's bleeding, Mike. It looks like he has a small cut on his right eyelid.
20 seconds remains in the first round. Championship fight. GSP trying to set up an elbow, Joe.
Thiago trying to push him off, gets back to his feet, and he does.
Good start for the champion. He wins round one.
Take out the mouthpiece and breathe.
Breathe. Here's your water. Now,
Greg, and breathe.
calm down. Okay, the energy is good. He wants his legs now, Phil, so let's give him his legs. Okay, George, get your air back. Now, this is a great round. Here's your water. Take your time. Calm down. Look at me. Are you here? Okay, calm down. Get your air back. That's great. Every time you take him down, he gets more tired. Okay? Every time. Doesn't matter if he gets up. When you take him down, keep his shoulders on the mat. Far shoulder in the side, okay?
There's that cut, Joe.
Vou pegar ele agora. Vou pegar.
St. Pierre Alves, round two. You heard Greg Jackson say every time you take him down, you wear him out a little bit.
And that is absolutely true, and it's the ease in his ability to take him down that's really troubling.
And as you mentioned, this is a big 170, probably over 200 pounds right now. I'm guessing about 208.
And that might be a problem when we get into the third, fourth, and fifth rounds.
Absolutely.
When you see how much of an effect that dehydration, cutting that weight, getting down to 170 has had on his body. And that's one of the reasons why George stays at about 185. He doesn't like to cut too much weight. He says it's bad for your body, and he wants to have a long career.
Well, Ricardo Laborio told our Eddie Bravo that Thiago's about 190 as he comes into this fight. That's 20 pounds from the cut.
And you got to think that he's more than that when he's walking around. When he's training, he's like 200. Nice
Good
leg kick by George.
GSP.
And a takedown immediately.
Total control so far by St. Pierre. A lot more, I think, even though he was the favorite coming in, Joe, a lot more than people anticipated.
Yeah, the control and the stand-up, and it's because Thiago's worried about those takedowns, and the takedowns have been pretty decisive. George has been able to take him down every time he wants.
77% effective with his takedowns in his career.
Good job by Thiago of avoiding that mount, getting to full guard again.
It's also been nearly 2 years since St. Pierre's been on his back.
He's hammer fisting from the bottom. Thiago's bleeding very badly from his nose, Mike. And George slams an elbow into it.
Joe, you and I have said for a long time that Thiago Alves, in the package that he brings, probably the biggest threat to GSP's throne.
Nasty elbow right there from George on that nose again.
But it certainly doesn't look like it now, does it?
Well, you know what? On paper, things are always different on paper than they are in the octagon. And George St. Pierre is a special fighter.
Just the second round.
He's not just special in his ability to fight, he's also special in his ability to implement game plans and to follow through with what his coaches ask of him.
From the South Shore of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. He grew up mentally after that first Matt Hughes fight. And other than the shocking defeat at the hands of Matt Serra in their first matchup, this guy's been nearly unstoppable.
And this is shades of the BJ Penn fight, Mike. He's wearing Thiago down with this ground and pound. And he's constantly making him work. Thiago's breathing very heavy. He's constantly trying to fight to keep GSP from passing his guard. And in the meantime, he's taking punches and elbows.
Dominant performance by St. Pierre with 1.5 minutes remaining in the second. He continues to tee off on the challenger. Pressing very high up on the guard of Thiago Alves.
Thiago is unable to do anything offensively from his back, so George is not worried about any submissions. He's unable to even attempt any sweeps, so George doesn't have to worry about that. All George has to worry about is him slippering away. He's got to worry about him getting up and getting back to his feet again. But so far, he's been able to control him. And as he gets more and more tired, it's going to be easier to control him.
Alves has been training his jiu-jitsu with Fabiano Holanda, who worked with George St. Pierre for 2 years. He
scrambles
spins.
back to
Can
his
he
feet.
get up? He's
There he
up.
goes.
Can he get out?
Now, here's the question. How much does Thiago have left? He's been basically keeping George's weight on top of him that entire round and fighting for his life.
George also likes to do this, Joe, lean up against his opponent on the fence. Very effective it was in gassing out BJ Penn
And
back in
gassing
January.
out John Fitch as well.
Absolutely.
He wore John Fitch out in the same way. He doesn't let guys breathe. He stays on top of them.
Final seconds of round 2. Thiago Alves is going to need to change things up.
Brutal ground and pound by the champion, George St. Pierre. You see these right hands to the nose of Thiago Alves, and that's what opened up all the bleeding. He landed some vicious elbows in that round as well, and just total dominance.
Look at me. Look at me. Now calm down. Breathe with me. Breathe with me. Calm down. Calm down. That's it. What a great round you did, George. I'm so proud of you. Great round. Now listen to me. He's going to come out a little desperate in this round, okay? He's going to try to knock you around a little bit, okay? So make sure you keep your hands up. When you get him on the ground, if he gets up, don't forget that arm cradle. The arm cradle, John, is that what it's called? Whatever it is. You know the cradle.
Vamos fazer isso. Ele vai no gás ainda, pô. Vamos fazer. Mete a porrada nesse bicho.
Greg Jackson's messages to his fighters in between rounds are so calm, so deliberate. One of the best trainers in the game today. Third round.
Yeah, he's just excellent in all areas, devising strategy, and calming guys down in the corner.
St. Pierre looking to stick and move and weather what Jackson said will be an early storm here in round 3 from the Brazilian.
George caught a left hook right there, Mike.
Good kick by St. Pierre to the midsection. Thiago really tucking and looking for the big shots. Can he avoid the takedown, though?
He stuffed that one. He's just shaking him off.
That's what he needs to start to do, Joe. He's got to shake off the takedowns. Superman punch. Thiago's still a little hesitant to truly let go with the legs because of the successful takedowns of St. Pierre. So he'll look to set up his kicks with the hands. Try to keep his opponent off balance a bit.
Thiago is, as a fighter, he's a specialist. I mean, what he looks to do is strike. That's all he looks to do. He's great at it, but by having that one-dimensional specialist attack, George has less to worry about than Thiago does.
St. Pierre got him again.
There he goes.
And it came shortly after another kick.
See, Thiago's not dominating the stand-up. He's doing well in the stand-up, but he's not dominating. And one of the reasons why is because George has so many things for Thiago to think about.
Thiago Alves left his family in Northeast Brazil at age 19 with $70 in his pocket. He had never spent more than 2 weeks away from his mother back in Fortaleza. Been training for 6 years now at American Top Team. We have reached nearly the midway point of this championship fight.
Thiago is staying calm on the bottom, and that may be because, first of all, George is excellent at controlling him in here, and I don't think he wants to blow out too much energy. Just defend, save his energy, and then look to explode to try to get back to his feet. But again, this way, George does not have to worry about being submitted from the bottom. He doesn't have to worry about being swept. He just has to worry about Thiago escaping and getting back to his feet, and which he's trying to do right now. He's exploding, and that's how he does it. He's back up to his feet.
He hasn't done any really, serious damage to St. Pierre here in round 3, Joe, but this is a much more even round.
Well, he's caught him with a couple of small punches, but you know what? George has caught him with some punches too. And he's thus far managed to avoid getting hit with too much damage with the legs.
St. Pierre trying to extend that jab again. Good battle inside. St. Pierre switches stances. T looks up at the clock. 1:10 remains in the round. St. Pierre dancing around, up on the toe on the back leg. Look for a kick.
Nice leg kick by Thiago Alves. Good body kick by George.
Thiago's down. Oh, St. Pierre looking to close it out. 35 seconds remains in the 3rd round.
Thiago's hanging on for dear life here.
St. Pierre postures up, throws an elbow, and another. 25 seconds in the round. Thiago's recovered, but he was in momentary danger of losing this fight.
George just took a look at the time to see how much is left.
We move to the championship rounds.
Do his legs.
The amazing thing, he's not really a wrestler, but his takedowns are incredible.
Well, yeah, you really can't say he's not really a wrestler. He's the best wrestler in mixed martial arts. He just never competed as a wrestler. But, that's because he trains with some of the very best wrestlers in the world up in Canada. And you see it over and over again. I mean, he's just the best in the sport at taking his opponents to the mat. And because of that, he gives them so much to think about. There's so much advantage in being so well-rounded.
Go spit.
I mean, if this was just a kickboxing bout, you'd have to think Thiago would have a bit of an advantage.
When your back's to the fence.
But even that, I mean, he's great standing up as well, constantly improving in all areas.
Well, Joe, it's like you talked about. It just keeps your opponent off guard. His fellow Brazilians in trouble. Probably down 3 rounds to none.
Definitely.
St. Pierre will look to stick and move early.
Mike, the real question, up again, went down, this time even easier.
And he set it up with the hands, just that fake. And then boom, he shot him for the double, successful once again.
George is in full mount, and he's looking for an arm triangle on the right arm of Thiago Alves. You see how Thiago's arm, see how George is pressing down on it? What he wants to try to do is get it pinned behind his neck. Thiago moves it back into half guard.
You know, many have argued that
Thiago's
St.
struggling
Pierre
to get back to his feet. He's trying to scramble.
Has moved to the top of the list of greatest pound-for-pound fighters in the world.
Very arguable after this performance. This could be it right here.
Maybe he solidifies it after tonight.
Slippery.
First time in top position for Thiago Alves, and it's been, as I mentioned, nearly 3 years since GSP's been on his back.
Look at GSP's butterfly guard, though. Very good, elevates Thiago's weight. Lifts him up with that. Thiago's trying to land some punches from the top.
And he's got some good effectiveness going with the ground and pound. Nearly 2 years, pardon me, but he's on his back for a substantial amount of time here right now. Midway point of the 4th round. Fight scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds.
Thiago trying to work from inside the guard of George St. Pierre, but it's going to be real hard for him to do any real damage to George. George is so crafty from the bottom. See how he's blocking these punches? Turning, moving constantly, keeping the closed guard high.
Joe, this is, now he's up. I was going to say, that's the longest I remember, maybe in his entire career, that I've seen GSP on his back.
Yeah, I think you're right. But still, took almost no damage there.
90 seconds left in the 4th round. Thiago keeps trying to hunt him down, though.
Yeah, well, there's no quitting this kid. Nice knee to the body by Thiago. He's trying to shake George off.
Look for the big uppercut again. Just over a minute remains in the 4th.
Nice leg kick by Thiago. George takes him right down.
Times it perfectly on that leg kick.
And that keeps Thiago thinking. It keeps him worrying, and it keeps him from throwing those kicks.
And really, in the career of Thiago Alves, we've seen that his most effective strike is the leg kick. GSP looking to pass.
Thiago really struggling to try to get to his feet, but he's willing to give up his back in doing so.
30 seconds remains in the 4th round.
George has got his back.
He's got some time, Joe.
Thiago's trying to pull away from it.
He's got the hooks in.
Thiago is going to try to explode and turn on top of George and wind up in George's guard.
He's going to make it to the 5th and final round, though.
All right. Let's get that breathing under control, Mr. St. Pierre.
I pulled my groin.
I don't care. I don't care, George. Hey, look at me. This is where champions are made. You understand me?
Yeah.
Nothing matters now. Hit him with your groin. You got my mentality?
Good.
No, it's good.
Last round, guys.
George, breathe and relax now. Okay, no more taking his back. No more taking his back. It's too risky. Just knee him from the side. Okay? I need the jab, and I need a lot of movement. I need the jab and a lot of movement. What are you going to do?
Jab and a lot of movement.
Yes, take him down when he comes at you. Mouthpiece, who has mouthpiece? Who has a mouthpiece?
Joe, what George St. Pierre said to Greg Jackson is that he pulled his groin. And Greg Jackson said something about, forget the groin. They're 5 minutes away from retaining your title. This is the championship rounds. This is what champions are made of.
Good leg kick by Thiago.
But if he's working on one leg, this is extremely dangerous.
And to Thiago's credit, he has maintained his power and his endurance deep into this fifth round, into the fifth round rather, despite the fact that he's dehydrated himself so much to make 170.
So St. Pierre, if he did indeed hurt his groin, it's going to make it tough to explode for the takedown.
Right hand by Thiago landed.
Which is exactly probably, Joe, what he wants, because he wants to get off the feet. The pit bull continues to try to hunt down the champion.
Nice fake jab, right to the takedown. Thiago's got to be desperate at this point, Mike. He's got to know that he's 4 rounds down into the 5th and losing this round. Back up to his feet, but George has got a hold of him.
He just continues to establish himself as one of the greatest champions in UFC history. Especially after the long-time domination of the welterweight division by Matt Hughes. Thiago standing right in there, though, looking to shock the world in the final 3 minutes.
Nice leg kick by Thiago, and immediately George goes for the takedown.
And again, down. Unbelievable, Joe, just unbelievable.
Yeah, his wrestling is just so good.
I mean, we've talked about it before. He had a chance to fight in the Olympics for the Canadian wrestling team.
Yeah, imagine that. No high school wrestling, no college, straight to the Olympics.
8 total takedowns in this fight for George St. Pierre. He's maybe been stuffed 2 or 3 times.
The way Thiago's been getting to his feet, Mike, is pure strength and explosion. He just turns over, even gives his back, and just gets to his feet, like right there. That's just power and size.
Under 2 minutes.
I mean, the fact that Thiago can do that to such a great grappler like George just shows you how strong that kid really is.
The great heart of a warrior, the Brazilian, fighting till the end. There's 9 takedowns.
It's a rout, Mike. It really is a rout. I mean, this kid is so good.
Final minute.
44 seconds to go here. George in Thiago's half guard. And again, as we mentioned in between rounds, he does have a wounded groin muscle. So he may be content to just ride this out.
The French-Canadian, George Rush St. Pierre, is going to defend his welterweight title for the 3rd time and extend his winning streak to 6 straight UFC fights. St. Pierre and Alves go the distance.
Wow.
And he will remain the welterweight champion.
I think he's indicating to his corner that he hurt his groin in the 3rd round, Mike.
That was beautiful.
Well, unless we heard him say it, we would have never known.
Yeah, really. I mean, now he's limping. There, Alves goes for the kick. George immediately takes him down, and that was really the story of the fight, Mike. Just took him down over and over again. Just used that superior wrestling and excellent timing. This is the end of the fight. He gets up, and you can clearly see he's injured. But he gutted it out, and just outstanding performance by George St. Pierre.
Well, the heart and the adrenaline took over. St. Pierre, ripped groin or not, is going to have that belt placed right back around his waist. The pit bull defeated by the champion here tonight. Great effort by Thiago Alves, but GSP is clearly the best in the world. Bruce Buffer with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. Adelaide Burr scores the contest 50-45. Douglas Crosby has it 50-44. And Marcos Rosales scores it 50-45 for the winner by unanimous decision. And still, the UFC welterweight champion of the world, George Rush St. Pierre.
Absolutely spectacular. The champion inside the octagon, and he will visit with Joe.
All right, I'm here with the winner, George St. Pierre. George, first of all, you're limping. You hurt your groin. I believe you were telling your corner. What round did that happen?
Yeah, my abductor ligament, I think. I don't know what happened, but I'm in real bad pain. It happened in the 3rd round, and when I was on my back, he pushed my leg down, and right in the beginning, it could have been a very bad night for me if this thing would have turned bad, you know?
Well, it was amazing that you fought the last 2 rounds with that injury. Now, this was probably the most dangerous challenger for you at 170 pounds, and still, you put on a dominant display, won every round. What does that make you feel? How does that make you feel about your future in this division? What do you think about now in terms of what challenges lay ahead for you?
Well, I don't know. Thiago Alves was my toughest opponent so far. Congratulations, he's very young, and he's gonna come back stronger next time. It happened to me when I lose to Matt Hughes the first time, and he's gonna gain from that experience. But right now, my division is pretty stacked, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to sit down and talk with my manager in the UFC.
Well, again, an excellent performance. Every time we see you, it's just better and better, and we look forward to seeing you compete again. George St. Pierre, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, everybody. A lot of people helped me out for that training camp. Thanks to all of them, all my training partner, friend, and everybody. Thank you so much.
The French-Canadian George Rush St. Pierre remains the UFC welterweight champion of the world. He fights through injury and dominates the pitbull, Thiago Alves. Take a final look inside the locker